All right. Well, my name is Chris Owenby, and I am the owner and founder of PracticeHabits.co, which is a piano teacher's resource site, for folks like you who do such important work. And we offer a variety of resources such as well-crafted sheet music, articles, among other things. And I also have the distinct pleasure of running a membership community along with our team of contributors. And you'll be hearing briefly about that towards the end of this presentation today. And it's my honor, my privilege, just a wonderful, wonderful thing to get to serve piano teachers in a very deep way within the membership community. Now I'm going to pass the baton to my good friend, Jennifer.
All right, let's see. Let me get back on. See if I could. Okay, can everybody hear me? Hopefully. Oh, don't you love technology? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am Jennifer Fox. If you are not familiar with me, I have a blog, Music Educator Resources, where I like to share different resources. Been developing quite a few resources of my own and sharing them, but I also like to share about other resources that I hear about as well. So I like to do different reviews and things like that. So I have a lot of fun with that. I also do courses for teachers. I just released a new Music Lab course recently. That was a lot of fun to do, a lot of work, and I am really excited about that one. And let's see what else. I just.
I love that. I love seeing what you put out, and I love seeing the just the energy, the excitement that you have, and the connection you have with your audience is a very special one. And folks really respond to what you do. I respond to what you do, and I think it's awesome. So we're so glad to get to learn from you today all about these motivational practice tips and resources. Now, before we dive in there, though, just a quick outline of what we're going to be talking about. So as I said, Jennifer's going to talk through these motivational practice tips and resources and give us tons of value. And we're going to have a kind of a brief conversation about the membership community, all the value that's there, and how it is really our pleasure to serve piano teachers. So we'll have a brief conversation about that. Then Jennifer has put together some special freebies for you, some free resources, and we're excited to get to see those. And of course, we'll have a time for questions and answers. So if you have any questions about the content that Jennifer puts forth in her presentation, or if you have any questions about the membership community, then we'll be thrilled to answer those during that time. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in to our presentation.
Okay, so seems like everything's still working. Okay, motivational practice tips and resources. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, so I'm really excited. Chris invited me to present online for you today. Just a quick note, there will be a replay, so if you are having problems that seeing or hearing and on your end and resetting is just not working, you can catch the replay later. I'm going to be sharing quite a bit in a short amount of time, so feel free to take screenshots of anything if you feel like it's going too quickly. I'm going to be sharing a lot of different resources that you can check out. And I also wanted to point out that you don't have to do everything I'm sharing, so don't get overwhelmed. I'm hoping you'll walk away with at least one new idea that you would like to try. Keep in mind that what might motivate one student might not motivate another student. Personally, I like to have a lot of different resources and ideas in my teacher toolbox because, motivation varies. So before I get into practice resources that can help motivate your students, I wanted to touch on some practice tips to think about that will help keep that motivation. And the very first thing is, let's see. The very first thing is communication and support. So as most of you know, the parent-teacher-student triangle is super important. This is something that I even talk to my parents about because I think it's really important for them to be aware that they have an absolute their end is just as important as my end or the student's end. And so we really need to work together as a team. And how I do this, the communication, okay, as long as you could hear me, that's good, because
exactly.
Videos, I mean, I'll reset my video, but the main thing is as long as you can hear me. Okay. So introduction, when you first meet with the parent, I just think this is one of the very first things that you need to make sure that you're on the same page with. Make sure they know your practice expectations, have them ask questions, or, you can ask questions. This is a great time to also get, an idea of any red flags when it comes to practicing, if the parent's going to be supportive or not really supportive, that kind of thing. The other thing is I reconcile lessons every week. So as soon as that lesson is done, or the last few minutes of the lesson, I'll jot notes down. I use my music staff when I reconcile, and I'll write lesson notes, and those lesson notes will go to the parent because I want them to know how the lesson went, and also anything that I want them to know about practicing that week. If there's anything specific practice instructions, I want them to be on the same page. Now, I do have a practice book that I write the practice instructions for my students in, and you know how it is, 9 times out of 10, it probably doesn't even get looked at. So having that reconciliation emailed to them, they are going to see that more than probably it being written down. And then the last is continued support. So this is additional emails that can be sent. I think it's just as important to not only let them know about, what you want them to do, but also be encouraging, send a fun little resource that they can do at home, or tell them how well the lesson went, or that you're so proud of how their practicing went with this last week, especially if it's something that was unusual or something to make it stand out. The other thing too is another continued support that I started this last year that really well is I have a private studio Facebook group with just my families. And so only my piano parents are in there, and I can send things, that everybody will see. I only have 2 parents that are not in that group. So, which is awesome. That many are in this group. So it builds that community, and I love it actually when even parents will share stuff in that group. So
can I interject something real quick,
yes.
Jennifer? I love the fact that you're doing a private Facebook group for your students, because Facebook, as we all have probably heard, they're in the news all the time, right? But their big thing right now is Facebook groups. So it's a great way to build, as you say, community and that genuine, just kind of rallying around a common cause, or, in this case, it's piano lessons, but it could work for other things, of course. But in our situation, I think that's fantastic that you have a private Facebook group for your students. Okay, done interjecting.
Yes. Yeah. Ask, do you unfriend them if they leave your studio? So the thing with private groups, you don't even have to friend them. You just send them an invite. But when they do leave the studio, I do remove them from the Facebook group. You can, I guess, leave them there if you want, but the stuff that I share in there, they're not gonna, if they're not taking lessons anymore, they're not gonna really want to stay. So they might even remove themselves. It's totally up to you. But you don't even have to be Facebook friends for them to be in the group. You just send them an invite.
And I'm going to interject one more thing here, Jennifer. We're getting some great questions. So what I will do during the course of your presentation is try my best to answer some of these. And feel free, yes, if you see one that is just so on point that we need to answer. But also, folks, remember that there'll be that time for questions and answers toward the end of our presentation. So just wanted to interject that, Miss Jennifer.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I like Rosemary's comment that she did a Facebook Live for the first time in May. Facebook Live is awesome, and the parents do love that. And, it's like, oh, my teacher's going live. Okay. Okay, so the next is, of course, have a good practice plan. I prefer goal-based practicing. SMART goals, if you've heard of SMART goals before, are really good. Let's see if I have. I can't remember if I, nope, I didn't. I do have, I don't know if you could see this. I'll show it later. But there's a thing you could download for free. It's on SMART goals, specific, measurable, and timely, where you can print this out for free and use it with your students. And it talks about what specifically what those acronyms stand for and what they mean for the students. And then they could mark their goals, you know, on the sheet. So that's a good resource that you can use for that. But I like this next. And so it's important to teach how to practice. Oh, a couple other things that you'll get later is practice steps. Not just practice steps for our average students, but even practice steps for the young students, because sometimes their practice steps are a little bit different than older students' practice steps. So you'll get a couple of resources for that too. I like this. Our students' minds are full. Yeah. Yeah. So if you look at this cartoon on the left side, like this is what's going on in their lives, and the whole family, this is what's going on in their lives. But our goal is for them to have mindful practicing. And that's why I think goal practicing works best. I'm not worried about how much time they spent, because if they're accomplishing goals, they're actually being more productive. And so I really stress that in my studio. All right, so let's go into motivating the practice. I've always been a goal-oriented person, so you can give me a task, a list, a goal to accomplish, and if I'm motivated, I'll get it done. So did you catch the key word in that sentence?
If.
Anybody? Yeah, if I'm motivated.
Yeah.
So if I'm not motivated, it'll just get postponed. So practice is something that students have to do in order to improve their skills. But if they're not motivated, they're not going to do it. They're just going to put it to the side and procrastinate, and then sometimes it just doesn't happen. So this is where the tools and resources come in. And I'm going to first share about printable digital resources that I've created that have worked well with my students. And then I'll go into apps and websites and different things like that. So we'll go into the printable stuff first. Okay, so the first thing is I like to do about every 2 to 3 years, I like to hold a practice camp or workshop with my students. I think it's really important to teach students how to practice. A lot of them, you know, they really don't know what to do. They think playing a piece over and over again is practice, and we know that it's more than that. So it's important to show them and guide them, to mentor them in how to practice. And we go through common flaws that they might have and then solutions. I'm a big Philip Johnston. He wrote The Practice Revolution. And my camp and workshop is based on a lot of his ideas. And then, of course, we go through how to practice more efficiently. And so they don't have to spend a lot of time if they're efficient at what they're doing. And then the next thing is I like to do practice incentive themes. All my themes are usually goal oriented, because that's just how I like to, you know, to have my students practice, but that's how I like to do things myself. I just think we can accomplish a lot more. And so when I do my incentive programs for my students, they're very purposeful. They're doing. I had a theme 2 years ago that I did that was called You're a Star, and that was the focus. The focus was on purposeful practice, and that was a really good thing. So the other thing I liked, yes?
I was going to say, why do you think themes work so well for students?
Yes, because they're motivating. Okay, so this is something I just get excited about because it motivates me. It motivates me as a teacher to do these themes. I love every year because it changes every year. And so every year it's different, and they come to the fall kickoff, which I'll talk a little bit later, I think. So they come to their fall kickoff where they find out the new theme, and they're really excited to find out what the new theme is and everything. And I decorate the room in that theme, and it just makes it more just fun, just the excitement, with,
Sure.
what's going on.
You play into their favorite characters, movies, maybe, and like you're doing your big superhero theme. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. So the theme is like for everything we do that year. So our spring recital is the same theme and all that kind of stuff. So it pulls it all together. So I enjoy doing them. So, okay. And then practice charts. These are one of the things that, it's good for visual and tactile students. It might not be students that are more oral, or it just depends on what they like to do. Students who like to color, they really might like the practice charts. I have a couple that you'll get. There's a summer practicing, which is perfect right now with ice cream cones. I know somebody mentioned they're using this one, and if the students fill this out, they can they'll get an ice cream sandwich or something when they're done. So I thought that was a really cool idea.
So you actually have some practice charts within some of the freebies that folks are going to get?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, something to look forward to.
And then, and then at Christmas time, that's just another really hard time to get students to practice. So I have another, a Christmas one that you could use too. So those are fun. And then I have just a ton of different charts for all year long that you could look at later if you want to go into my resource shop. Okay. And then practice games. I love to do practice games because, again, they're goal-oriented practice. They're certain thing, so many repetitions. They help for that focus and mindful practice session. And one thing that we'll give you the link for is this mood dice. It has just different emoji moods. And then you can print out and then to use with your students. You can even give it to, have them make it and take it home. And then they could just practice, they roll the dice and practice their pieces in different moods. So just something simple like that, but they're doing it in different repetitions. So you can assign, okay, I want you to do 3 different moods for this piece. And so, if they're practicing it in 3 times, and they don't realize, that fun repetition is really,
Sure.
And then the other thing is, let's see, at least 20 years ago, I started doing practice kits. And so this is an example of a kit. And I do this when I give this to them when I shop in the summer. And it just has a whole bunch of different games and tools. There's a dice in there and pencil and highlighter. And I also like to put a sand timer in there. It could be a 3-minute or a 1-minute sand timer. And the purpose of that is I always tell, even on your most crazy days, you have at least 1 minute, or you have at least 3 minutes, or however long the sand timer is. There's always that many that you can run through something. So no excuses.
I love that.
Okay. The next one is, I did practice games. Okay. Practice praises. So I don't know about you, but when I receive an unexpected thank you card in the mail or a note from somebody in my inbox, it totally lifts my spirits for the entire day. So a note of praise or encouragement for your students can go a long way, and it meant for that week. So I have, there's a couple files that I have available that you can download for free that will give you 7 different, there's this little thing, and it's just like this one says, keep up the great work. And then you just write a little note on the back of the thing, and you could stick that in their binder or, something like that. Just write a little encouraging note. I'm really proud of the effort that you're making, or you can do it if they're struggling, just kind of a be a little cheerleader, I guess.
I love that. I think that's one thing. Like April O'Keefe, who's one of our contributors, wrote a post about it, and one of the things she mentions, we don't know what a student's going through at home, and chances are, like most of our families, right? They're I'm sure great families, great mothers, great fathers, but at the same time, stuff happens at school. Stuff happens with their friends. Like, I mean, I remember middle school. It was just a rough time for me. And just those positive affirmations, you're doing a great job, keep it up. You're just a wonderful student, can make the difference in a student's day, week, or life, right? That can be life-changing stuff there. So I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, practice projects or surprise the surprise the teacher is cut off. Anyway, practice projects in the summer. This year I changed it to surprise the teacher. We did practice projects for about 7 years, and I was starting to feel that the students were burning out on that. So that's another little tip. If you start to feel students are burning out on an idea that you've been doing for a while, change it up. Find something else. And so this year we're doing surprise the teacher, but I'll tell you about what both of them are. So practice projects is students would come in, or during the summer they would work on a physical project. So they would, it varied. I told them your imagination is how far you can go. So some would write compositions, some would do a painting or a coloring project. Lego projects were popular. I had a student that made a quilt, things like that. And you're like, what does this have to do with practicing? Okay, so this is where the practicing came in. Every time they would practice or accomplish a goal in their practicing, and so I let them decide how they wanted to interweave the project with their practicing. But anytime they would accomplish their goal, they would add to their project. So for example, if their goal was to play a section 3 times in a row correctly, they would add 3 things to their project, or however they decided to do it. It was totally, I left it up to them how they wanted to do it. And then when we had our fall kickoff at the beginning of our fall semester, they would share their practice projects, which was always fun to see what they came up with. And then how I wanted them not just to share what they did, but how it related to their practicing. So that was fun. We did that, like I said, for 7 years. And then surprise the teacher is something new this year we're doing. And that is, I told them, I just want them to surprise me with something. So again, it's totally up to them, but some ideas I gave them is, I said, learn new pieces you've always wanted to try and share your favorite at the fall kickoff. Learn all 4 of your summer practice pieces if you chose this option. I'll talk about that in a minute. Challenge yourself with a stretch piece. A stretch piece is a piece that's harder than they normally might play. They could go as far as they can in Piano Maestro and share what level they reached in their favorite piece that they learned. Or maybe they set a particular goal or to make a particular rank over the summer. They could try something they've never tried before. Like maybe they always wanted to learn how to play hymns or lead sheets or something like that. Or they can compose or transpose. There's so many possibilities, but I just want them to come and surprise me with it. So we'll see how that goes. And practice contests. So with the practice charts that I showed you, you can use those along with the contest too. I love to hold a practice contest in December because a couple reasons. One, I don't hold regular lessons in December. I just do a Christmas camp. But I want them to continue to practice. And then practicing kind of goes during that month anyway. So this is a good time to kind of boost it up. So what I'd like to do is I have what I call a mystery minute, and whoever practices that meets or exceeds that mystery minute will get rewarded. And then of course, also whoever, can you guys hear me still? Okay, just lost my audio. Okay. Also, whoever, I have like a first, second, and third place. But the thing I like about the Mystery Minute is it's not just the first, second, and third the top practicers that will get rewarded. It's anyone who gets that Mystery Minute. And so what I usually do, how I usually come up with a Mystery Minute, is I take everybody's totals and average it out. And whatever they average with it. They don't know this, but that's usually what I do.
That's sneaky and smart.
Yeah. Okay. Practice packets. So I've blogged about this if you're familiar with my blog, but if you're not, musiceducatorresources.com, if you go just search for practice packets, summer practice packets might be what it's called. I go through in depth with this, but a couple years ago, I got an idea from someone who was taking a maternity leave, and she was creating these packets for when she was on maternity leave. And I thought that is a wonderful idea to do over the summer. Because again, I don't have regular lessons in the summer. I do camps. And so I put together practice packets for those who want them. They pay extra for it, or they choose it as one of their summer options. And they're just, I use studio licensed music such as Practice Habits. And so I'll use the music from that, and then I'll throw in some practice games, and then I'll do videos showing them how I want them to practice this piece, and then I'll just put it together as a packet. And this work time, it works great if you have a family that needs an extended break, or during the holidays. There's so many different options that can work well with this idea. Okay, and then the last printable resource is Practice Workbook. And this I put together to go along with the camp, but you don't have to use it with the camp. So it's basically this workbook, and it just has a ton of different things. It has a practice diary and the common flaws, steps and tips, goal making, even a practice schedule, if they have a hard time fitting, I don't know when I'm going to fit it in, just different things like that will help them.
So we lost Jennifer just for a second, but she is, it looks like, back with us.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason,
and folks, too, again, on your end, if you need to reconnect, just press that bright green button. But I am loving all of these resources, these printable resources especially. And we've had some really great ideas come through in the comments section, such as, I want to pull out one that was really awesome. There was a lot of awesome ones, but this one really caught my attention. Rosemary, you said you have a student learn a song by ear and then play it, and they sang it with a blindfold on. I love that. Now, I will cover students' hands from time to time, right? And give them a series of notes to play with, like as an ear training exercise, and play a few things and then have them repeat it back. But I especially love the blindfold. So Jennifer, it looks like you're back on with us.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Let's go into apps. Okay.
Ooh, love them.
One of my favorite iOS apps, and these are all iOS, so I'm sorry if you don't have iOS. But some of them are, you could search and see if it has the same one. Anyway, the Amazing Slowdown or AnyTune are great options. They both change the sorry, let me get a drink. Okay, they both can change the tempo without changing the pitch. So if you have a background that they're going to be playing with, I love this where you can slow it down for them. It could transpose to different keys. On the Amazing Slowdowner, that's the one I use. You can isolate and set loops as well. So that's an option that you can use along if you like to use music when they're playing. And then the Super Metronome Groove Box. I love this, and I love using it even as a metronome tool. Well, it's called Super Metronome, but I love using this as a metronome more than some of the other metronome tools. So there's a light and a pro version. I think the pro is totally worth it. I have the pro, and some of the things that it could do is there's over 100 grooves. There's what's called a beat hider. You could set any beat and hide measures to try to keep the tempo while the beat is hidden. And so when the rhythm is back, you could kind of see if you've been playing at the same tempo. That's really cool. There's, of course, a tempo tool where you can change the tempos. There's soundtracks. You could create your own soundtrack or drum groove or whatever. And, what else? I mean, there's just a ton. There's even subdivisions for if you want like a jazz feel to it and stuff. So I think the pro is definitely worth it. It's like, I think it's $6.99 for the pro. And then some of these others, like this one I do not use, but I wanted to let you know about it if you wanted to look into it. It's called Practice Center. So this is $6.99, and it has a practice timer, countdown and a stopwatch. It has metronome, drum loops, a practice mode, tuning, you know, if you want to tune anything, visual recording, audio recordings, things like that. So you could look into that one. Practicia is still on a beta right now, so it's free currently. And Practicia keeps teachers and students and parents all connected to their practicing. You can create assignments, and both the teachers and students can share and add audio and videos and photos. You can add text, YouTube links, leave comments, all within the app. Mm-hmm. And then another one, Era, I believe this is it's an in-app purchase. I don't use this, but I've heard really good things about it. It hears you play and gives you feedback. And then it also has a reward system as well. So that has in-app purchases. I'm not sure. I think it might be a subscription. I'm not totally sure about that though. And then Better Practice App. It's called Better Practice App because if you Google Better Practice, that's something totally different. So Better Practice App is also another one. It's a lesson manager and practice tool very similar to Practicia, where you can communicate in that app as well. And then Fourscore, I just wanted to mention this. This is my favorite PDF reader. You could just do a ton of different things. It's definitely, if you don't have it, it's a definite must-have. You can insert your PDFs, organize them, annotate them. You could page turn with them. So if you have a page flip or an error turn, bookmark, you could use the Apple Pencil with it. You could rearrange scores. So duplicate pages or rearrange the orders. Has a metronome, a tuner, a pitch type, and just tons more. It's just full of stuff. So definitely worth getting that one. And then let's go into websites and blogs.
I want to interject something here, Jennifer, too, if I could. Folks, these are such amazing resources she's given to us. Wanted you to know that at the end, I'm putting a link together for you that you'll also, continue taking notes for sure. But I'm making all of these available to you at the click of a button too. So I'll put that towards the end of our presentation today. You'll get access to all of these resources in Jennifer's presentation.
All right. And again, feel free to take screenshots too of the slides. Yeah. Okay. So websites and blogs, practice habits, of course, we'll talk more about that one. Chris actually even has some great, if you're not familiar with practice habits, great blog articles on his websites about practicing as well. So check that out. Yep. And then musicalu.com. This is a website and a community that helps you become more musical. It has training resources and different things like that. Bulletproof Musician is a great blog that I subscribe to, and Noah is the blogger, and he gives practice tips. He that help with, a lot of them helps with performance anxiety. So he has a musical background, but he also has psychology training. So he combines those both into his stuff.
Very interesting articles for sure. Getting into the psychology of effective practice. Love his stuff.
Yeah. Musiciansway.com has tips on practice, performance, wellness, and creativity. And shedthemusic.com, which is nicknamed The Shed. This has a lot of videos that focuses on different, harmony, melody, rhythm, and jazz. Basically guides they have them anywhere from beginning to advanced. So a lot of great videos that you can check out on site. Let's see. Okay, Essential Music has a lot of practice tips and ideas. InsideMusicTeaching.com, this is Philip Johnston's website, and he has some fun ideas in there that you can check out. So screenshot this if you want. And we're going to go into the next thing. Okay, so books. The Practice Revolution I mentioned earlier, that's by Philip Johnston. I highly recommend this one if you haven't read it. Just great. Great stuff on goal-based practicing. He's really a big proponent on practice games. And he also has a book called Practiceopedia that I use with my camp a lot. Great stuff there. The Piano Practice Physician's Handbook, Nicola Canton did this one. She has not only the book, but she has a whole course that she's done with this one. Let's see. The Musician's Way, A Guide to Practice, Performance, and Wellness. I actually saw Gerald present at an MTNA conference a few years ago. So he has a book that you could check out. And then The Inner Game of Music. This is an oldie, but goodie. This is the author from The Inner Game of Tennis. It's a good one. And then The Art of Practicing is another one. So you can screenshot these if you want.
Can I add one to your list, Ms. Jennifer?
Yes.
There's a book I love. Now, this is not necessarily, does it have to do with practicing, but I feel that it's a great book for musicians in general, especially us piano teachers to read. And I'll put it in the comments section, but it's called What to Listen For in Music by Aaron Copland. And he actually wrote it for non-musicians to teach them how to listen to music when they go to concerts. But I have read the book 2 or 3 times, and every time I just pick something new out of it, and it really helps me know what to listen for and kind of tune out some other things when I'm trying to listen. Say it's a fugue or something, right? And I want to get in there and listen to and really understand the subject or something. But it's a great book. I'll put it in the comment section.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll have to check that one out. All right. Okay, and then this is number 1. If the music is not engaging, it just won't motivate. So right. Try to choose pieces that students will not only enjoy but encourage non-stop practicing. That's your goal, is want to be there all the time. So get out of the box, include lead sheets and improvisation. It's also important to include music that's relevant today. So ask them who their favorite band is at the beginning. At the beginning of every year, I always do a getting to know you sheet, and I ask this question: who's their favorite band, or what's their favorite song, or whatever. And I always try to keep that in mind. So if they're able to, they can learn something from the artist that they really like. And of course, Chris has written music that will help motivate our students. I have a subscription to Practice Habits, and inside you'll find sheet music, lead sheets, exercises, practice guides, and online trainings. He's also very open to suggestions. Sorry. You are fine. Got that frog going on.
I know.
But I've emailed Chris and with some suggestions for things that I thought would be good or I wanted. And he's been really open to it. So he'll definitely take suggestions. He encourages suggestions, actually. So I'll turn.
I believe we lost Jennifer there just for a second. She's coming back, though. There she is. And we may have lost her just for a minute. Again, the internet, right, my friends? But yes, that is one thing that we value at Practice Habits is feedback from our members. So the main member perk as a Practice Habits membership community subscriber is unlimited access to our growing catalog of sheet music and resources. And I'm all about listening to what piano teachers need. So Jennifer has been very kind over the past year that we've been helping piano teachers in giving me feedback for what would be most helpful for her as a piano teacher, but then also for her friends. And we have really increased the amount of beginner sheet music pieces as well as intermediate pieces within the catalog. So yeah, we're all about listening to our members and supporting you in the best way possible. Jennifer, are you back on with us? Well, friends, we may have lost Jennifer there. I know she is trying to get back on. I see that, and I know we're nearing the end of her presentation, but we still have some great freebies for you, as well as want to chat about the membership community. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is tell you that you are here, my friends, because you want to motivate your students to practice. And we've learned all about these motivational tips and resources from our friend Jennifer, some great things. And I just uploaded that in a form that I can, that I'll put in the comment section in a minute, and you'll get immediate access to a PDF file of all of those resources. But you're here, and like what I love about this is even though we had all the tech issues on Monday, we ended up getting more registrants for this webinar, for this online training session on Wednesday at a different time. And why that inspires me so much is because I know that piano teachers are out there that genuinely care for their students and want to learn more ways to inspire, to motivate practice. And it's awesome to see. So thank you for the way that you're giving to your students. And I will say in the membership community is by far the best touch point, the best way that we as Practice Habits can serve piano teachers such as yourself in your important work. Inside the community, you get access to all sorts of well-crafted sheet music and resources, practice guides, community, and all sorts of other things. The main draw, as I said, the main member perk is unlimited access. And by unlimited, I mean studio licensed, printing, downloading, distributing all of the sheet music, all of the scales, chords, and arpeggio exercises, the hundreds of pages of lead sheets that we have available to piano teachers such as yourself. You get access to that and for all of your students. So when you buy or purchase a subscription to the membership community, you're essentially purchasing a studio license and you own this music. Now, in addition to that, there's practice guides. We're reaching out to contributors to create these things for us as well. Access to a private Facebook group, and members love the private Facebook group because it's a way to easily access the sheet music and materials. Also, you're getting access to one of the brand new things. You may have noticed that it's not just Practice Habits membership community anymore. It is Practice Habits membership community 2.0. Well, the 2.0 part is that we've added some online trainings to our database. So it's a growing video library of trainings. I just uploaded a training all about improvisation, how to go about teaching that to your beginners and your intermediate students. And we're also doing live monthly member calls with our guests. And we've had a couple of guests thus far since we've included this as part of the membership community. We recently had Tracy Sell, as well as my good friend, Aaron Jones. And we have Miss Carol Matz, who is coming to the membership community this month. So we're excited about that. And if you join at the annual level, you're getting access to all of the online workshops that we run at a 30% discount. So there's tons of value there. This is just a couple of shots of the sheet music and resources on the site. If you click on a piece, you get a description as well as a demonstration recording, which is helpful in determining if you like the piece and you want to download it. Here's an inside shot at our membership community Facebook group, where we recently did a live member call with Tracy Sell. She brought the value, my friends. I'm telling you, she is an amazing teacher and inspirer. So we recently have accumulated 90 plus resources. That's hundreds of pages of sheet music, technical exercises, and other things. And that equals, my friends, a value of $640. We are on track to produce another 30 plus resources in the coming year, bringing that value to $920. And I want to add that value is for the sheet music and resources alone. Like, that's not including the videos or the monthly member calls. So there's just a lot of value there. This is the current price, $19 a month or $190 per year. But I have a special deal for you today. You'll notice that the price is increasing to $24 a month or $249 per year on August 1st. And so there's some logistical things to take care of on the back end that we have to do to prepare for that price increase. But this $19 per month or $190 annual fee is available until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Sunday. And we'll have that going on. But the special deal for you today is the 10% off. But it's actually more than that, because think about it. The price is going up on August 1st, and you're going to save quite a bit if you join now and get in at this very special offer that we have for you. All you've got to do is input the discount code summer 2018 at checkout. And if you go to this URL here, practicehabits.co/membership, or if you click on the offer that I'm about to put on your screen, this will take you to the sales page where you can learn even more about the membership community, read some testimonials of folks who are actually enjoying the sheet music and resources. Plus, I give you an inside look into the community. So you can either click that button or you can head on over to practicehabits.co/membership. My friends, there is a place for you. I always like to break it down that basically your membership subscription is tax deductible, and we all need those, right? Tax deductions. At $190 for the annual fee with a 10% discount, you're looking at $171 for your annual cost. If you join monthly, it's about $17.10, which is going to be $7 or $8 lower than the price increase that you're going to see on August 1st. But if you got 20 students, that's roughly $855 per student for the entire year. And there's a lot of value in that, my friends. Take comfort in the fact that you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So for whatever reason, you get in there and you say, this is just not for me, it's okay, because we're going to refund your money. But I'll tell you, we rarely have anyone take their money back, because the value, my friends, is enormous. Plus, I have a bonus offer for you today, right? So you get the 10% discount plus the bonus offer. We've got a very special workshop, a one-day workshop featuring our guest Carol Matz on July 27th. And all of the community members who are on this call or who are inside the membership community, you are automatically grandfathered in to this one-day workshop. Plus, we've got some new pieces dropping on this day, plus some extra value coming from yours truly. I've got a little training session I'm going to do, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you join today, that $39 value is yours for absolutely no cost. So you're getting the 10% discount, you're saving before the price increase, and you're getting this free admission to the one-day workshop. There's a place for you, my friends. So practicehabits.co/membership. Would love a chance to serve you and your studio in a deeper way. Now, we have some very special resources for you. Now, Jennifer, are you on the line? Can we hear you? I'm going to see if Jennifer's on the line. I've noticed she's been communicating in the chat box. and I wanted her to chat about the free resources. But what I'm going to go ahead and do, hoping we can get her back on the line, is go ahead and plug these in the comments section. So I just put up a link to her slide presentation where you're going to get access to all of the books, all of the motivational tips that she put forward. And I can see you, Jennifer. Can you say something? I think we've lost your audio, but I know that folks will really enjoy getting immediate access to your slide presentation there. Now, I've got a couple of other links that Jennifer gave me that I'm going to drop into the comment section as well. This is a link to a practice page, and she has some free resources. At the very top, you'll notice that there's access to some rhythm poke cards, which looks like a lot of fun, kind of a fun game there. Jennifer, say something. See if we got you back on the line.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, so that first link that...
Oh, we lost you, Jennifer. Oh, but you're back. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The first link, that the MER practice link, that's the one that will give you all of my practice resources. But in that link, you'll find a bunch of free stuff you can download. So there's just a lot of stuff. That's practice steps, practice goals, practice charts, a bunch of things. And then the second link, Chris just popped in, the emoji mood dice. That is a Google Drive link that you can go in and download and make these dice, have your students make them. This would be a great group lesson or camp thing that you can do with them.
That's great. Well, thank you for offering those. I love, you are what your website says that you are and what you do, and that is Music Educators Resources. You have a ton of resources on your site, and I hope folks will take a chance just to go on over and see all that you have to offer. And thank you for offering these freebies. I put the links there, Patricia, in the comment section. So you'll notice if you just scroll down a little bit that the first one is for the practice resources and the second one is for the emoji mood dice. But I'll throw them up there a couple more times too, just so you have those. And if for whatever chance you don't get those in the comment section, just send me a quick email. I'm admin, ADMIN, at practicehabits.co, and I'll shoot those over to you. I also put the link to Jennifer's notes here. Now, we do want to take some of your questions. If you have any questions about the content that Jennifer has put forth, if you have any questions about the membership community, now is your chance to offer those. We got a few more minutes here, and we'll stay on as long as you have questions for us. I'm going to close the slide presentation, Jennifer, so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll both be on the camera here, but let's see. Yeah, there we are. So we're happy to take some of your questions in the comments section.
So Juanita said she missed the slide that said that was the last slide. So I'm going to tell you what to remind your students. So remind them that it's not about how much practice time that they have. It's what they do with that time that counts. So I think that's an important thing to make sure that they know. It's not about the time. It's about what they do with the time.
Yeah. Quality over quantity any day of the week, right? It's all about the quality. I'm going to put those links over here again. Yes, there will be a replay, Julie, and I have a replay of the workshops within the membership community as well. But a replay of this particular online training will be available 48 hours afterwards, so you can catch it or share it with some other piano teacher friends of yours. But yeah, if you're a membership community subscriber, we're uploading these to the site as well. So one of the first things I'll do after our call today is just download the video, upload it so the members get the value of that, but then also make it so you're going to get that replay for the next 48 hours as well. It looks like Sheila has a question, Jennifer. Where could she get the practice theme ideas?
Yeah. Okay, so the practice theme ideas, if you go to my website, mediasources.com, and those are the practice incentives that I do can be found. Just go to my store link and then just click on practice. Actually, I think that will even show up in the short link that Chris gave you too.
And I just put it up again there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the surprise the teacher ideas, I'm actually going to be blogging on that soon. So I'll include that. I'll include the handout for that I sent my students.
Lisa asked, and I think she asked even earlier, and I had written down her question, for the fall kickoff, could you give us a little more information? And then one thing that I saw in the initial question was, does this replace lessons?
Yes.
And I guess she meant for that week.
Okay, so fall kickoff is the very first lesson that they, after summer, is the very first lesson to kick off fall. And what we do, and it does replace the regular lessons. So everybody comes on their normal lesson day. So if Tuesday students come on Tuesday, Wednesday, and et cetera. And then they come at the same time. So it's a group lesson that they come on the same day. And this is when they share, like in the past, it was share their practice project. This year it will be they'll share their surprise the teacher. This is when I will introduce our new theme and what all is involved with it. We'll play a game together and anything else. If I have anything new, because I have a music lab, if I have anything new in the music lab, this is a great time for me to share that with them. So anything that would be good to share as a group. And then the following week is when regular lessons begin, and then they're ready to go. I like doing this because I do it the first week they start back to school, because they're not quite ready to get in that mode of regular lessons yet when that first week of school. So this is just a fun way to kick off the fall semester, get excited about what's coming up for the year, and getting them ready before we actually get back to our routine stuff. And then I decided this year I'm going to do this twice. So I have a fall kickoff and then I have a spring kickoff. Well, my spring semester starts in January. So I'm just calling them semester kickoffs. So we'll do that after the holidays. We'll do it again. And that focus will be on practice goals. So I'll really focus on getting them back into their practice goals.
All about the plan, right? I love that. That's
yeah.
keeping your studio organized, and it's great for your students. Jessica asked a question: how do you record student progress after lessons if you have back-to-back lessons scheduled?
Yes. So on my iPad, I have it just already on their name, everything ready to go. And just at the last few minutes when we're starting to run down, I'll quickly type in some notes. Sometimes I'll type in things as we're doing lessons, things that I know I'll forget if I don't type it down as we're doing it. So I just have it open and, quickly type things. I used to do it where I would put it in OneNote and then I would copy and paste and email it. But now it's just all on my music stuff. It's just sent directly to them. So then I just click the email button when their lesson's over.
And I just put a comment there. If you have any last minute questions here, we're willing to stay on for another few minutes here with you. It's been just a pleasure, Jennifer, to get to chat with you today and learn about all these resources. I for sure am going to look into several of them, especially some of the apps. That is one thing that I want to start getting into a little more with my students, right? We live in this technological age, as we've, it's kind of been a theme the past few days, but you know what? We need to, I think, embrace it, and then also just benefit from the many tools and resources out there. There was one other question that I wrote down, and you may have answered this and I may have missed it, but someone had asked when you were talking about Facebook groups, do you unfriend them, which is just a scary thing, right? You say, unfriend the student. It sounds so dire, but do you unfriend them if they leave your studio?
Yeah, I did mention it, but I'll go ahead and mention it again. So you don't have to friend for groups. You just send them an invite. So you don't even have to friend them. But as far as if they quit the studio, yeah, I just take them out of the group. So.
And the Facebook groups, as I mentioned before, are a great way to build community around what you're doing in your studio. And someone mentioned they were doing Facebook Lives. I think that's great as well. and they're quite simple to put together. I put a link. It was way down the page here, but you could scroll and find that page. But if you just Google Facebook groups, it'll take you step by step through how to put one together. But it can do a lot for your business in terms of building community and around your students. And think about all these initiatives, these practice of initiatives you have, all these things when presented in that Facebook group, just how folks can rally around that. It can keep it kind of forefront in people's minds because everyone's on Facebook these days. And it's the parents getting this information, right? It's not just the students, but the parents are seeing all the things that you're posting. So I think that's a fantastic resource.
Yeah. Rosemary asked if I had a Facebook group or a Facebook page as well. I have both. So I have my public Facebook group that anybody could see, and then the private page as well.
So think about your public Facebook page as a way to present what you do. This is my offering to the world. This is what we're all about. And yes, you can build community there, but the Facebook group is kind of for, for lack of a better word, your insiders. These are the people that, in this case, your students. These are the people you're investing in, and they're investing in you as well. And you have this common goal, this common theme, which in our case would be teaching piano lessons, inspiring, motivating practice. So it's just a great, very personal way to build that community. And experiment with a Facebook Live videos as well. It's daunting at first, but I tell you, it's pretty easy just to get. I have this little pink. What is that? Narwhal, which I thought were mythical. When the Elf movie came out, I thought the narwhal was mythical. But no, they are very real, my friends. My daughter did that picture. But you pull out your cell phone, do a quick Facebook Live video for your students. It's a great way to build community.
Yeah. I just wanted to answer Teresa's, she asked if kickoff was optional. It's part of my calendar, so if they don't go, then they miss a lesson. Right. Everybody goes to kickoff. So,
and when you're giving that information up front, then it's not a surprise, right? Folks have had multiple touch points, so they know what to expect. They know what's coming. And even if they don't, you just point, 3 weeks ago, this is what I sent out. And it's, it's all about notification, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. So yes, communication. I've been there trying to decide. Facebook honestly has made it so, yes, it can be confusing. So you have to kind of stay on top of the trends and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in just the community that it can create. But yeah, there's other platforms as well. So experiment for sure. So it looks like Julie has a question, Jennifer.
Yeah. So my practice camp, we go through I like to go. So Philip Johnston has what he calls common practice flaws, and then solutions that could go with that. So I like to go through his common practice flaws and then how they can fix those flaws. So an example would be like a speed demon or something, where they're rushing through their piece. And then we go through how they can fix, that problem. Cause I think it's one thing to know, okay, yeah, this isn't working. It's another thing to know how to fix it. And so we go through that a lot. And then we go through, they each get a practice kit. So we'll go through the games and how to play some of these.
Oops. Looks like she's coming on board, there. I do want to make mention again, while we're waiting for Jennifer to come back on board, is that you'll want to get into the membership community before this Sunday to take advantage of the special discount. And Yelena, you are so welcome. We've really enjoyed our time with you. But Jennifer, it looks like you're back on with us. Where were you?
Yeah. Anyway, so then I was talking about the game. So we'll go through like the practice games and setting goals and how that works. It's interactive. It's not just talking and things. We'll do some hands-on activities as well, just like a normal camp. That's important to keep them engaged. But it's, you could look more about it in my store. I also blogged about it too. So you can look that up on the blog. I know, going back to the fall kickoff, Juanita was saying, as far as scheduling goes, real quick, I'll just mention that because they come on their normal lesson day, I just pick a time where I know everybody could be there, you know, depending on things. So you can, I haven't had any issues. I do tell parents that they can't make it on their regular lesson day, they can go to one of the other days. So I'm not. Practice kit, I'm just kind of running through these questions real fast because I know it's like we're at over an hour. Practice kit is basically practice games, but it has tools like pencils, highlighters, dice, you can stick a sand timer in there. And then it just has different goal-based games that they can do. So that's what that
I think
is.
that's helpful to see because the video is breaking up earlier, and now that you gave us that example, that was really helpful to see. So good. Yeah, folks, we want to be good stewards of your time, and we so appreciate you joining us today. And again, thank you, Jennifer, for just bringing the value today. And it was great to get to hear from you. Friends, if you have any other questions, feel free to send an email. We're always happy to answer questions and provide you with helpful tools and resources to help you in your important work. And just a reminder, the replay will be available for 48 hours after this event here. So you'll get an email with that link. But also, you can get access to this other online trainings and future online trainings in the Practice Habits membership community. Would love a chance to serve you in your studio. Thank you so much for joining us. Any last minute words from you, Miss Jennifer?
No, I mean, I guess just don't get too frustrated with students who don't practice. Just do what you can with them and be patient. They'll eventually, just do what you can. I try not to let that stress me out. I'm like, I do what I can. The rest is up to them. So
that's a good outlook. And yeah, everybody just keep inspiring, keep encouraging, keep motivating, keep it up. And we'll see you next time. Okay.
All right.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye.